Hi, this is Andy Ortiz, President and CEO of Ortiz Leadership Systems. I want to welcome you to this Leadership Nugget video on servant leadership. Now, when you think about servant leadership, that's something that we hear a lot in business now and in the leadership profession. But it hasn't always been something that has been prominent. Now you see it even more than ever because power shared should be power multiplied. When I was working as a community organizer here in Arizona, right after I graduated from ASU, Arizona State University, as my undergrad, I was working and doing political work here in Arizona. And that was our mantra: power shared is power multiplied. Think about that. That it's not just power over somebody, but it's empowering the people that you work with to make them better, to make them stronger, to make them more effective. And the rising tide will lift all boats. If you're all working at the top level that you possibly can, that makes sense for an organization. That makes sense for individual leaders as well. So when I talk about sharing power, I am talking about empowerment. As I mentioned, not power over somebody, but empowerment, truly making the group stronger and making the group more engaged. Put the needs of others first. Oftentimes when you think about the historical literature around leadership, much of it was about the individual leader and what that person brought to the task or what position that person held. But now, as we've evolved as a society, I think leadership is starting to take a whole different perspective about how can you help people to develop themselves and perform as highly as possible as individuals within a team, but as a team collectively. Now, the leader must serve the people instead of the people just serving the leader. I remember the first time I read the Tao Te Ching by the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. And in that work, he talked about the quiet leader. And I remember a passage in that book that said that the quiet leader, when his work is done, his aim is fulfilled, the people will say, "We did it ourselves." So it wasn't about the leader themselves. It was about the team and how that individual leader worked with those individuals to bring the best out in them, to where they didn't necessarily see that person as the figurehead. They saw him as one of the team, helping to create a better outcome and a better reality. Now, the term servant leadership itself, and actually the term servant as leader, was first coined by Robert K. Greenleaf in an essay that he first published in 1970. He was the person that was a pioneer around the topic of servant leadership and really created the topic where it came into vogue. So you do want to serve first and then make the conscious choice to aspire to lead, where service is the impetus, the catalyst. You're in something because you want to make a difference. You want to serve others. That's why I do the work that I do, is because service is so important to me. I feel, as I've mentioned in previous videos, that many of the opportunities I've had in my life have come from the service that I've been able to give to others. So if you do serve, you do receive as well. I feel that to be quite true. And I would also say that institutions can be servant leaders too. We look around us and we can see companies and organizations that have a social consciousness that are making a difference in our world. So remember, develop your people in your organization. Build a trusting team and work together to achieve results. That entails being ethical, being practical, and also being meaningful. So I hope this discussion around the topic of servant leadership has been helpful for you and you've been able to take some inspiration from it. And as always, we're here to serve you. You can reach Ortiz Leadership by phone at 480-688-9292. That's 480-688-9292. Or you can also reach us on the web at www.ortizleadership.com. And as always, remember, lead with purpose.